Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. So, I just finished rewatching the Santa Claus season 1, and I apologize. I made a mistake. I thought there was a retcon, but it was the retcon was just a middle name thing change. So Buddy's still Buddy, but he just goes by Cal. Sorry, my bad. Thought it was a name change. A massive name change. It was a nickname. Which honestly I didn't pick up on the first 2 times I watched it. My bad. Sue me if you want. Cancel me if you want. No, I'm joking. But, yeah, it was interesting. It was pretty good. Still pretty good, but see, my biggest thing is technically Jack Frost should have been in the U-verse, because he is technically he should have been a part of it, but don't know why they kept him out. Because technically Jack Frost is the you know, there's something that has bothered me with the whole Santa Claus thing. Like, yes, the history of Santa Claus, right? We do get the history of Santa Claus in like episode 5, but there's a lot that's missing. There's a lot of Santa Clauses that's missing. And see, I don't think that the Great Depression Miracle on 34th Street Santa, aka Elf Santa from Elf, is the 17th Santa. If that makes sense. Because let's look at this, okay? Technically, there's been hundreds, probably thousands of Santas from the first Saint Nicholas, which think of Santa as like the president, or like an emperor, or like a pharaoh type of thing, or like a king, if that makes sense. I'm not 100% sure, but like if it started with the real Saint Nicholas, right? And every version from Saint Nicholas passed down gave their successor a passed on from person to person, or like each changing of each Santa, right? All the way down to Krampus and the Mad Santa. Then technically there should have been a Western Santa. That would have been cool. Can we just see a Western Santa and what a Western Santa would look like? Oh my god, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, technically Great Depression Santa / Miracle on 34th Street Santa / Elf Santa from Will Ferrell's Elf is not technically the 17th Santa. He's more like the maybe 617th Santa, maybe 618, give or take. And Tim Allen's Santa Claus is more like the 1600th, maybe 1000th and 17th Santa. Which would make Jack Frost the at least about 620th to 1019th Santa, maybe 21st Santa. I don't know. The Santa logic is kind of questionable at best. Very, very questionable at best. So, also, that would make the one who Scott Calvin, aka Tim Allen's Santa, passes the torch to about maybe, give or take, 622nd Santa to 1022nd Santa. If that makes sense. But he still becomes Santa at the end, so I don't know how. But Tim Allen still becomes... No, wait, sorry. Yeah, plus you have to factor in the Toy Santa, so Toy Santa would be at least 600 to 1020th Santa, which would make Jack Frost the 1021st Santa to 621st Santa. I think I said that twice. And Harold from Harold and Kumar or the guy who plays Harold from Harold and Kumar and on Bones, would be at least 622nd Santa. If I'm doing my math right. Or 100 or 1023rd Santa? I don't know. I don't know Santa. I don't know how the Santa-ness works, to be 100% sure, but it's a very, very, very tricky situation. And a very, very, it's gonna take a lot of deep dives. So, with that being said, that would make the Franklin and Bass Santa at least maybe 400th. The 400th Santa to maybe 401st Santa, give or take. I don't know how each Santa's run goes for, so that could be for numerous reasons, but it's we're getting into some tricky situations here, and whoever becomes the new Santa after after the Santa Claus is over, the Santa Claus's seasons are over, or the series is over, that Santa would be whoever takes up the mantle of Santa would be at least the 623rd Santa to maybe probably the 1023rd to 24th Santa. But then again, I don't know how each Santa's run go last, because that could be very, very tricky thing that we get into, but I'm not too sure about that. Honestly, I think accurately, Tim Allen's is the 100th and would most likely be the 100th and 1020th Santa. At best 100th and 1020th Santa. So, and another thing, the reason why the list has gotten shorter and shorter is because people were blipped. They got Thanos dusted on his reign, on his runs. on Tim Allen's Santa Claus's run, or on his hands. So that's probably one reason why Tim Allen's Santa Claus works in the MCU and the North Pole is unaffected by alien magic, because time works different, because time and everything else works differently than other than the North Pole. If you're outside of the North Pole, you're probably getting Thanos dusted. You've been blipped, you've been dusted. And then we end off on the 29th year or anniversary that Scott Calvin becomes and takes up the mantle. 30th anniversary of Scott Calvin being and donning the mantle of Santa, because if we're looking at this logically, he starts becoming Santa. He puts on the suit in 1993, maybe 1994. 1994 is when his Santa Claus came out, which makes sense accurately and timeline-wise, so maybe 1993 to 1994, which means Charlie's still at least 7 or 8. So that could work for Santa Claus 2 timeline-wise. But he doesn't start actually becoming Santa until, he doesn't officially believe he is Santa until 1994. So I guess 1994 is accurate at best. So let's go with 1994, because you have to believe you are Santa to actually be an effective Santa. So maybe I'm looking at this wrong. Maybe I'm not. Who knows? But it's very interesting, because we don't really know when the first actual Saint Nicholas was around. So it's safe to say he would be the 1000th and 20th Santa, depending on each Santa's reign and whatnot. So, plus, you also have to take into consideration that the Dark Ages lasted for a long, long time. And they probably had at least 600 Santas at that time, because people were dying, people kept dying, and so on and so forth, because you had the plague, you had various diseases, and so on and so forth. So you also have to take into consideration of the Dark Ages, just the plague, the Black Death. So maybe 900 to 900 to 1,000 Santas, and after the Black Plague fizzled out and we got into the Renaissance era and the colonial days of America, we're looking at least about maybe 17 other Santas. 18, 19, give or take, depending on each previous Santa's reign before Scott Calvin. Which would make sense that the one who passed on the torch to Tim Allen, Scott Calvin, would be Great Depression, Miracle on 34th Street, Elf from Will Ferrell's Elf Santa, and Scott Calvin's Santa is the same Santa from the three Santa Claus movies and the Christmas Chronicles, which adds up to being the same Santa, and Fred Claus being still connected to either the first original Saint Nicholas or the second, depending on timeline-wise, which means he could have been Santa at any given moment, which could also be a major plot point of why Fred Claus doesn't like his brother. So that could be a reason, kind of like the younger brother overthrowing the older brother type of thing, like Hamlet style, pretty much. But who knows? Anything is possible. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys so far. For right now, please like, share, subscribe, and have a good day. Thanks. Bye.